On the mound today, on the bump for the Chill, Aaron Moreno. AJ Moreno is what he's also called, age 24, from Laverne, California. He was here with the Palm Springs Power in the summer, and he'll get us going with Eli Savitt stepping into the box. First pitch on the way, slap foul on the left field side. Eli Savitt 1 for 2 in this first matchup against the Chill. They played earlier with both sides flipping, so the Jacks were home on the 22nd. The Chill were away on that 22nd, where the Jacks got the victory in that one. Next one is upstairs for a ball. 1-1 is the count. They played over at the auxiliary field. The Jacks won 9-4 over the Chill in that game, and the Chill just trying to find that first win, like we said. Next one fouled off to the backside. It's 1-2 the count.
Yeah, and it's at the stadium here. That's always one thing. A lot of these players are getting over there to the turf field, the auxiliary field. It's made of turf over there, so different than the grass and the dirt you have here at the main stadium.
1-2 delivery on the way from Moreno. Gets the breaking pitch. That one's popped up on the left field side, racing after it, but nowhere near any of the defenders. Lynn and Perez both in transition. Across the aisle, Dave, we're featuring two different gubernatorial candidates in race for the California governor position. Chad Bianco, part of the Republican Party, and Ian Calderon for the Democratic Party will both be here today. 1-2 on the way. Just a bit outside, makes it 2-2.
Yeah, that'll be a kind of a really nice way to bring everybody together with baseball, especially very early on here in January.
Here's a 2-2 on the way from Moreno. Swing and a miss, and really caught him well. Eli Savitt goes down swinging. Spent time with Cal State LA with a 5.55 ERA, 45 strikeouts. That one is slapped to the right side. Just pops out the glove of the second baseman. Chen recovers, throws a first, and got him. A nice defensive play there makes the second out. So a good start for Moreno up on the bump. And here's Zane Zinicola. First pitch just a bit outside. Makes it ball 1. So for Across the Aisle Day, we have our very own MC Tim O'Brien of MBC Palm Springs. He'll be here moderating all the festivities. As the next pitch in there for strike 1 of the count, 1-1. He'll be throwing out the first ceremonial pitch at the 12:30 game with the Canada A's and the Palm Springs Power playing later on. Should start around 12:30 or so. Next one just a little bit inside the dirt. Makes it a 2-1 count. So if you want to ask about the platforms for both candidates, they'll have their booths out throughout the stadium all day today. Residents of the community can go ask about their policies. As the next one falls in there for a swinging strike. 2-2 is a count to Zinicola. Over at the auxiliary field at this very moment, it's the 1-1 British Columbia Bombers taking on the 0-2 Grizzlies. As that one's in there for strike 3. Here's the first delivery, just a bit upstairs, ball 1 to Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan from Harwood Heights, Illinois, played time at Indiana University South Bend. Not the one that won the national championship not too long ago, but still pretty much the same system. 2-0 is the count. Meanwhile, had a .290 batting average, 4 home runs, 5 doubles, 28 RBIs with Indiana South Bend. Spent about 2 seasons there, and here he is here trying to get a chance to enter the professional leagues. Already a 3-0 count. Zellner delivers. Gets a piece of the top of the zone. 3-1 is the count.
It's so valuable to have all those years of starting experience at a school like Indiana South Bend and be here in the Winter League.
That one barely misses the top of the zone, and that's a walk to lead things off for the Chill, and Jack Ryan will stand up on first base.
Now batting number 6, Zhu-Han Lin.
Zhu-Han Lin, 1 for 2, 1 run yesterday in that loss against the British Columbia Bombers in the 12:30 game on day 2. Little bit way too inside as Lin falls to the ground. and recovers pretty well. Thankfully wasn't a heater right in his face. Ryan over at first base. Next one's right in there for a strike.
And sorry, Justin. We'll see how aggressive the middle of the infield is in terms of getting towards second base here if they can try to set up a double play.
They tried to pick off over at first base. Donahue was able to glove it. Had to come off the bag just to go get that ball. Well, if you got no other plans, why don't you come join us down here at Palm Springs Stadium. Today's $3 beer day for all Bud Light and Budweiser drafts. Popped up in the air by Lynn. Out there in center is Savitt. He'll fall under it to make the catch. That's the first out of the inning. CJ Acosta, the next man up for the chill with one out. One man on first from Burlington, North Carolina. Led the conference at Pfeiffer University with 10 home runs, second in RBIs with 50, fifth in walks with 29, sixth in stolen bases with 11, and was ninth in slugging percentage with a .620 in a span of 37 games. 0-1 count makes it 0-2 with a called strike on CJ Acosta.
And that's another thing, like even guys that, even if they're not playing D1, it really is such a great experience to get all those games like he had at Pfeiffer and be able to play that well as well.
There's a steal on the next pitch. All the way Ryan, high throw, and he's in there for a stolen base. Fouled off with the tip of the bat.
It's an excellent little PA sound effect for that foul ball, I think, here by Stephen Buxton to our right.
I don't think I've ever heard of a foul ball launching off like a rocket like that. But here we are, 1-2 the count. Next pitch a little bit upstairs. Makes it 2-2 for CJ Acosta.
Great chance to drive in a run here because of that stolen base from your shortstop, Jack Ryan.
Acosta trying to get something started, but swings and misses on the next delivery. High fastball, strike three. That's the second out of the inning as Acosta goes down swinging. And now Eden Perez will come up to the plate. 1-for-1 yesterday. Before being subbed out, and he'll see if he can try to drive in that run at second base with Jack Ryan on board after walking and grabbing a stolen base. Got a big lead. First pitch delivery is breaking pitch. Marks the top side of the strike zone for strike one. So Christian Zellner up on the mound from Forest Lake, Minnesota. Played some time at Pecos League, Century College, and Newberry College. He was a former CWO member back in 2023, and now here he is in 2026.
For Perez here, a guy that has had a few home runs in his last few years for sure in college, so we'll see if that long ball gets going.
This one right inside the pocket of Eden Perez makes it 2-1 the count.
That's because yesterday, as we mentioned the pregame, Justin, just felt like the ball was jumping off the bat here in that desert air yesterday.
Just a bit under this one as this one's going to the first base side over the shoulder. No one can make the play. It drops in. The run will score. An RBI blooper single for Eden Perez, 1-0 chill. It falls right in the perfect spot for an RBI blooper single for Eden Perez.
Yeah, I was going to say, Justin, that was one where it wasn't the hardest hit baseball. It looked like almost he got sawed off a little bit, but just carved right into the greatest spot it could have out there in the outfield for where the single and eventually the run.
1-0 chill here in the bottom of the first inning. Caden Kirker is a man up with a 1-1 count. Meanwhile, next pitch just a bit inside for the 2-1 count. Kirker, the designated hitter today. Worthington, Ohio, played at Otterbein University and the Ohio Collegiate Summer Baseball League. Hit .254 and scored 21 times in 2024 with Otterbein.
Right now, Kirk are trying to battle, but even if this at-bat or this plate appearance ends soon, Zellner just about at 20 pitches already in this inning, not really where you want to be.
Popped up in the air, shallow right field. Nicola will fall under it. That's the third out of the inning. AJ Moreno will come back out after pitching a 1-2-3 inning. He'll face off Juan Garcia, Garrett Babacqua, and Yi-Sun Lin, a.k.a. Henry Lin, in the lineup here. First pitch is a heater right down the middle for a strike to Juan Garcia, who was 1 for 3 back on opening day. Looking to get that first knock since taking a break yesterday. Moreno comes with it. That's a curveball on the outer edge of the strike zone. 0-2 quickly against Juan Garcia. Moreno standing at 6'3", 210 pounds. A big human being up on the mound. That one's sliced and fouled off to the right side, out of play.
I like Moreno getting ahead in the count here, and you're facing a guy that has had several years of minor league experience in Garcia. He's been up and down the red system and been able to go professional before, so this is not an easy guy to get out.
0-2, just an upstairs, gave him the high fastball, but Juan Garcia doesn't take. Garcia from Salt Lake City, Utah, experience in the Cincinnati Red system, part of the Colombian U23 World Cup team. And as he goes after a pitch just on the outside and takes it through, it's a swing and a miss. Strikeout for Juan Garcia.
It definitely looked like Moreno went off speed there.
Batting number 21,
head in the count.
Garrett
Garcia
Babacqua
kind of has to chase to try and protect, and ends in an unfortunate trip back to the dugout for him.
So here's two Palm Springs power players from the summertime facing off each other. It's Garrett Babacqua facing Moreno here in this moment as the first pitch is taking a piece off. Did that get a piece of the bat?
I believe it went off the glove for a ball there.
So it's a 1-0 count for Garrett Babacqua facing off against Moreno. This one on the other side of the plate, but it's off its mark. 2-0 is the count for Garrett Babacqua. Quickly 3-0 for Babacqua, so a little bit different this time in this at-bat. Instead of being aggressive against Garrett Babacqua like he did against Garcia, taking some pitches off a little bit on this count. Babacqua, green light, that one's in there for a strike.
I think Babacqua, another one of these guys like Garcia with so much great experience in his past.
That one marks the outside part of the strike zone. Now it's a full count as Babacqua was starting to make his trip over to first base. Quick update, the Grizzly over the Bombers right now in the top of the third over at the turf field. 6-0 is the score. The Grizzly pouncing on the Bombers who just won yesterday. This one's a bit upstairs, and that's a walk for Garrett Babacqua. That's the first man on base today for the Jacks. Goes after the first pitch and whiffs at it. 0-1 quickly for Yi-Sun Lin.
And now you mentioned the score update there, and that's what's great about this league. Feels like everybody has a chance to be great. So we get a little pick move to first, but in that game, you know, now it's been the Bombers who are down. They were up yesterday, looking great yesterday, but it's kind of been that up and down where everybody's trying to figure things out, and these teams all have the talent very equally distributed.
That's in there for strike two as Lynn stares it down. Behind in the count now. And like you said about the Bombers being down against the Grizzly, the Bombers up 9-3 against this team. The Chill yesterday had multiple hits. Reed 2 for 4. Donaldson as this one's fouled off by Lynn. And yeah, you talk about the distribution of talent. One team could have a good day, the other team could have a bad day. And with the way the schedule works, because you're playing game after game after game, but you're simulating what it's supposed to be like once you get to the professional level. Swing and a miss, just a bit behind. Lynn goes down swinging, and that's the 4th strikeout of the day for Moreno.
It's definitely a serious, you got to be ready to play every day type schedule.
The Jacks had a day off yesterday, but all these teams won't have a unified day off until Super Bowl Sunday, like you said. First pitch delivery, strike 1 to Connor Donahue, who's the next man up. He's at first base today for the Lumberjacks. Next delivery just a bit upstairs outside. Donahue's been around from Missoula, Montana, spent at a JUCO, played at D3 level, played in the Empire League and also the Dominican Republic, which was his time at an academy. .6'3", 245 pounds is a sliding grab by Lynn. Long throw to first. Gregory couldn't make the scoop as it goes to the bullpen. Advancing the runners, Bravacqua will stop in his tracks at third base. And the ball gets away from the catcher as well. And Bravacqua was in there for the score, and we're tied up 1-1.
That was definitely a tough sequence there for the Chill, as they did not limit the damage like they would have with that second error allowing the run to score.
Can't have those kinds of mistakes in this game, especially for where the Chill are standing at right now at 0-2. They need all they can get to get that first win of the season. So unearned run for A.J. Moreno. The man at second, Connor Donahue, and Miguel Fernandez with a 1-1 count. 2 outs in the inning, and a swing and a miss on a breaking pitch by A.J. Moreno makes it 1-2. Fastball upstairs makes it 2-2 the count now to Miguel Fernandez.
And this has been a big inning for Moreno, and you can see, starting to use more pitches to get through these guys, up to about 20 in this inning. So he's going to have to dig in, find his best stuff.
Hands down a heater on the next delivery, but it's just off the mark, and now it's a full count to Miguel Fernandez. With a 1-1 score, the next man up would be Yi-Ta Chen in the lineup as he awaits on deck. The Jacks have multiple Taiwanese players. You saw Yi-Sun Lin earlier as this one's in play, popped up to the shortstop, and Ryan has the play, and that ends the inning. It's a 1-1 game here in the bottom of the second. Evan Leibel, Jake King, and Corey Gregory, all three to start off here in this half. This one's in there for strike 1 of the count. 1-1 count for Evan Leibel, the catcher for today on the Chill roster. Watch as the next one float in there, 1-2 count for the man from Los Alamitos, California. About a 2-hour, 30-minute drive from Palm Springs in the Coachella Valley. Spent some time at Santa Ana College and Loyola Marymount.
And Justin, I kind of love his journey. He's been playing with organizations in Canada, in the States, on the East Coast, West Coast. You can tell he's so dedicated to trying to make baseball work.
A swing and a miss on the breaking pitch. A really nice one delivered by Zellner as Leibel goes down swinging. And like you said, the journey for a lot of these players has been a long one, and they're here for this opportunity to get into the bigs. 1-0 count to start off for Jake King. You talk about the players that came in from last year. 1/3 of the participants in the CWL earned pro contracts. Over 40 of those contracts went to MLB partner leagues. You talk about every single year what the CWO has been able to do for players like this and what kind of journeys they have. They're coming from all different places. You got international players. You have guys domestic. As this one rolled through the 4-3 gap, that's in there for a single. Jake King is on board to get us started here in the bottom of the second. is the new manager of the Gateway Grizzlies of the Frontier League. First pitch to Corey Gregory's in there for a ball. He joined the staff back in 2025. He's been in the San Diego Padres system as a player for some time. His protege, Gary Templeton Jr. on the other side of the field. 2-0 count for Corey Gregory. This is his first season managing in the CWL. And speaking of the Padres, we talked about this earlier before the broadcast. The son of Hall of Famer and a San Diego Padre great Gary Templeton Sr., who played shortstop with the Padres. It's a 3-0 count to get started for Corey Gregory with a man on first base. Gary Templeton Jr. spends time as the hitting coach for the Modesto Roadsters in the Pioneer League, previously coaching with the Idaho Falls Shukars. Corey Gregory just stared that one all the way down. It's in there for a strike with a red light on a 3-0 count, makes it 3-1. Rolled over to the third base side. Bavacqua to second, over to first, and that one just rolls on the roller. Donahue chases after it, and Corey Gregory does not advance. So here's Kai Shung Chen, the second baseman today for the Chill, with 2 outs here. First pitch strike delivered by Zellner.
You know, Justin, you were talking about earlier with Templeton, you know, one of the managers, just as an example. I mean, it's so great to have that guy who's got so much experience to teach these players.
Floated up in the air and popped out to Zini Cola. That ends the inning. Top of the third inning here at Palm Springs Stadium. Yi-Ta Chen, then back to the top of the lineup. Eli Savitt and then Joshua Williams for the Jacks. It's a 1-1 ball game here in the top of the third. You're listening here on the Bally Sports Live app. My name is Justin Lee alongside Patrick McCall here for the first game of today at the stadium, and then the Canada A's and Palm Springs Power play later at 12:30. Here on Across the Aisle Day. First pitch in there, ball 1 to Yi-Ta Chen. This one is fouled off over the first base stands. 1-1 count for Yi-Ta Chen. Hey folks, if you got nothing going on the 31st of January, we've got Pride Day happening, presented by Town Real Estate. First pitch at 12:30 p.m. between the North Stars and the Palm Springs Power. So if you can make it out there, come grab yourself a ticket and come join us on $3 beer day as well. 2-1 is the count for Yi-Ta Chen. That's in there for strike 2. 2-2 count for Yi-Ta Chen as he'll try to defend the count here in this at-bat. Goes after this one, slow roller, second base to Chen, over to Gregory, comes almost off the bag a little bit, but they're able to get the out there. Back to the top of the lineup, Eli Savitt, who struck out swinging. Goes after the first pitch, and the corner goes against the Chill as Chen, diving for the ball, cannot get to it in time, and the first pitch single for Eli Savitt.
Really good piece of hitting there by Savitt, catching a little bit too much plate, just sort of shoots it back up the middle. That was just such a tough play for this defense to try and get to.
Joshua Wilson.
First hit of the day for the Lumberjacks. Joshua Wilson steps in with a man on first base, grounded out into a 4-3 play in the top of the first inning. A.J. Moreno in his third inning of work, 4 strikeouts already with just that first hit given up as he tries to go grab Eli Savitt at first base on the first pickoff attempt. Tomorrow is Family Sunday here at the ballpark. All adult tickets are dropped down to $5. Kids 12 and under can get in for free. So if you have a free day and want a family trip, come out to Palm Springs Stadium and come watch a ball game. We got 2 tomorrow. On Sunday, the British Columbia Bombers taking on the Jacks at 10 a.m. and then the Manitoba North Stars taking on the Washington Blue Sox at 12:30 here at the stadium. Wilson fouled off the first pitch. Second one on the way. There goes Savitt as this one is hit toward the first base side and out of play. They try to go to first base. Savitt with a big lead, able to dive right back in with the elfin mitt. Just another piece of evidence of how the league has changed over the years. A lot of these base runners now using those oven mitts. The funniest thing is seeing the players who have the double oven mitt. Savitt goes back to first with the next pitch in there. It's the first ball of the count to Joshua Wilson as he's trying to get on board here. We got promotions all season long here in the CWL at Palm Springs Stadium. Mondays are $6 wine specials. Tuesdays are 2-for-1 tickets. This one popped straight up in the air in the infield. Ryan's got it to get the second out of the inning.
Nice little routine play there for Ryan to just come in and get
number 3,
that out.
Wilson.
And now with the second out, if you're Moreno, you're looking strong, especially after allowing that quick hit to Savitt. You suddenly recover, got 2 outs, and can see a light at the end of the tunnel getting out of the inning.
Zane Zinicola struck out looking in his first at bat in the top of the first inning. He comes up here with the man on first and Eli Savitt. Goes after the first breaking pitch and comes up empty.
Actually, Zinicola, a guy, too, that is a tough guy. Played years in the football program in Northern Colorado and also was a baseball player, so he's got 2-sport ability.
Got that Bo Jackson element as they check at Eli Savitt at first base again. It's about the third or fourth time that they've checked on Savitt over there at first base. Wednesdays are Locals Day, so folks from the Coachella Valley can get in for $5. Thursday, Out-of-Towners Day. If you're somebody from outside of the Coachella Valley, you get in for $5. And then Friday is Canada Day. For all Canadian residents, you get in for $5. 1-1 is the count to Zane Zinicola. Our concession stand head operator, Sue, is from Canada. There's a few Canada fans that were here yesterday, actually. There goes Savitt. Good throw, but just rolls out of Ryan's glove, and Savitt finally has himself a stolen base. They checked on Savitt a bunch of times. He finally gets over to second base, and now a runner in scoring position for Zane Zinicola in a 2-1 count. Big lead from Savitt. Swing and a miss, just a little bit behind on that one. 2-2 now for Zinicola.
And I'm honestly probably this Winter League, Justin, always going to defend the stolen base, obviously, especially when it works out. But even when it doesn't, you only have so many games to showcase your abilities. I really favor taking off and running and getting in scoring position here.
Little breaking pitch on the outside. Down goes Zinicola, striking out for the second time today. Yeah, the weather here very nice. Around 62, 63 degrees at the moment. Swing and a miss by Jack Ryan, who had a stolen base on a walk earlier and scored the first run for the Chill thanks to an RBI single by Eden Perez. It's pretty clear today. There was some clouds coming over the distance. And if you look behind us in the stadium, you can also see the Mount San Jacinto, which has had some of the clouds rolling over the top of that mountain. A pretty cool shot if you can see it for yourself. And that's my encouragement piece for folks to come out to the valley. 1-2 makes it 2-2 count here for Jack Ryan.
Yeah, Justin, I've actually heard the tram is an amazing experience. You go up the mountain, and it's just a gorgeous view up there.
Popped up in the air right to Wilson's glove, and that's the first out of the inning very quickly for Jack Ryan as he goes down. It's almost like going to a different world up there. Last time I was here in the summertime, we took that trip up to the Palm Springs Tramway. Beautiful different sight. First pitch to Soo-Han Lin is popped up in the air in center field. Savitz got it for the second out. So quickly 2 outs for Zellner. Both sides, or both pitchers I should say, pretty clean slate so far. Just a 1-1 ball game still.
Now
And
batting number 27,
combined only 3
CJ
hits for both
Acosta.
sides.
Yeah, and here's a guy in a Acosta that's got to come in here, maybe try to drive up some pitches, see something good, as really a veteran, almost presence, you'd say, in the lineup.
Struck out swinging last time as he watches the first one inside the righty hitter's box. That one's fouled off as CJ Acosta checks his own swing, makes it a 1-1 count. The tramway is a beautiful sight to see. You get a full 360 rotation as you go to the very top. And I don't know what it looks like right now, but from what it looks down here, there is snow on the top of that peak right now. Another foul by CJ Acosta. Well, something tells me you want to go see that.
I do. I mean, I really do. And, I mean, I can't imagine playing a baseball game up there. Those are some incredible challenges playing in conditions up north.
It's in there for a ball. 2-2 count for CJ Acosta. And maybe if you play at an elevation like that, surely the ball will fly farther, like Mile High Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
That is upstairs, misses for a ball. Full count for CJ Acosta. Yeah, yesterday we saw a total, what, 5 home runs, 6 home runs in this stadium yesterday.
Yeah,
and
it was flying all over the park.
Still yet to see one here as the pitch is a little too inside. That's CJ Acosta on board with a walk in a 2-out situation here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Gets a piece of this one. He's got himself a second hit on the day as it rolls into left field.
And honestly, Justin, love that at-bat by Acosta. You know, see a lot of
Now
pitches,
batting
get a
number
walk,
24,
and make this
Caden
guy work a little bit
Kirker.
more in Zellner. Then he makes a mistake to Perez, leaves one right over the plate on the first pitch. So this could set up a big 2-out rally right now.
The Chill with a chance to take the lead here in this one, looking for that first win still. First pitch in there, cuts the inside corner for a strike to Caden Kirker, who flew out to right field in his first at-bat of the day. He's got runners at first and second. Acosta at second and Perez at first. This one inside, check over to first base. Sliding back in is Perez. Is 6'3", 175 pounds. Caden Kirker at the age of 24. 1-1 count. This one in there. Cuts through the inside part of the strikes. And so right now Zellner really painting that inside. The home plate umpire consistently calling that inner part. One-two on the way. Tried the breaking pitch that time. 2-2 is the count.
You definitely know Zellner wants to use that off speed here to get the 3rd strike.
Comes inside and gets the elbow of Kirker. And it looks like the umpire is saying that came off the bat knob of Kirker, so he'll have a 2-2 count remain instead of getting onto first base.
Yeah, that looked like it went in sort of on the hands there, and I guess just got part of the knob, but it's a difficult one because even if it got the knob, I would think it would rattle the bat and definitely fire up your hands a bit.
And Kirker shaking his hands a little bit. It seemed like the bat was vibrating surely after that ball hit the knob of his bat, so he'll remain in there for a 2-2 count. Evan Leibel waits on deck, struck out swinging last time. Swing and a miss. A good pitch by Zellner takes it down. 2 men left on the bases. Juan Garcia struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Now is back in the 2nd inning. Goes after the first delivery and rolls it over close by to Gary Templeton Jr. Speaking of Gary Templeton Jr., who's taking over for the Palm Springs Chill this season, it's a full circle moment for him and his family. We talked about the son of the great Gary Templeton Sr. This one's in there for strike 2 of the count. 0-2 quickly for Juan Garcia. Templeton Sr. served as the Chill's inaugural manager in 2008 when the Chill debuted in the Arizona Winter League before coming here to the California Winter League. Is the 1-2 count for Juan Garcia. Templeton mentioned it's a great opportunity provided to help the kids follow their dreams, and the way that his own father helped him follow his dream of making it to the bigs. Now he's here doing the same thing his father did for him all those years ago. Swing and a miss for Juan Garcia. He goes down. Bavacqua walks up to the plate. Walked to first base before scoring a run thanks to a pair of errors. Goes after the first pitch right up the middle. He's on board with a single. 1 for 1 on the day for Garrett Bavacqua.
And these hitters, I think they're seeing something early on in the counts against Aaron Moreno, because those last 2 hitters swinging on the first pitch that time obviously pans out with the base hit by Bavacqua. So see if that trend continues here as we see Lynn coming to the plate.
Struck out swinging in his first at-bat back in the second inning. He's got a man at first base. That was only the second hit of the day for the Jacks here in the top of the 4th. First pitch in there for a strike. Yi-Sun Lin watching it full, straight through all the way. Instead of going with Bavacqua's aggressive type of at-bat. A little conservative to begin. The next pitch is in there. Swing and a miss by Lin. 0-2 count.
And Moreno's not a guy who messes around. We've seen him so far definitely mostly playing inside the strike zone and is not afraid to go after these hitters.
Oh, 2. Bit inside. Lynn has to move out of the way just a tad bit. Makes it a 1-2 count. The Templeton Sr., the 3-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger Award winner, finishing with 2,096 hits in his career, inducted into the Padres Hall of Fame. This one popped up towards the left field side and shallow left. Perez can't get to it. It falls just inside the chalk, and it's another infield blooper, the second one of this game that we've seen. Swing and a miss here for Connor Donahue, who reached on base thanks to an error before a throwing error by the first baseman Gregory, allowed Bavacqua to come around the bases and score to make this game tied with where it is right now here in the top of the 4th inning. 0-1 on the way. Another big hack by Donahue, who comes up empty once again.
Great pitch by Moreno there to get him to swing. Now 0-2, you're definitely ahead in the count here, and we'll see if they get the ground ball they're probably looking for to set up a double play.
Barely misses on the slider. 1-2 count for Connor Donahue. Swing and a miss on the breaking pitch. Donahue goes down swinging.
That's another great execution by Moreno, kind of expanding the zone. And again, you just need that one big out. It's a very close game, tight knit as we were talking about. Both teams, even hits, even runs. Sure, it'll come down to it. You need those kind of plate appearances to go your way.
The 7th strikeout of the day for A.J. Moreno. Miguel Fernandez flew out to shortstop in his first attempt. He'll try to get on. With a runner in scoring position, it's still Garrett Bavacqua. It's a 1-0 count quickly. Yitan Chen awaits on deck. Grounded out in his first at-bat as well. Gets a piece of this one. Picked up by Lynn. Throws the second for the third out. We've seen some pretty good action within the early goings of this game, but both sides cannot break through with a 1-1 game here at the stadium.
Sorry, just have to see if the Jacks go to the bullpen sort of anytime soon. They've only just now started to get an arm. Connor Grimes warming up.
And Christian Zellner up to 57 pitches at this point. The 58th pitch, a swing and a miss by Evan Leibel. Meanwhile, A.J. Moreno, who's got 7 strikeouts in 4 innings pitched, with a pitch count of 67 pitches.
Uh-oh.
Man, that is so 2025, if you ask me.
Well, we're bringing it into 2026.
Don't make me do the hand motions on TV.
26 or 7.
2-2 is the count. That one's watch for a full count here to Evan Leibel. Strikeout swinging in his first at-bat of the day back in the bottom of the second inning. It's been pretty even, Steven, so far. 3 hits for both teams each. And that one is in for ball 4. A man on base to lead things off for the Chill.
Blew that first game when they were up 6-0 in the 7th inning.
Ball 1 of the count for Jake King. Back over there, another check to Evan Leibel. Right, we're calling it maybe the greatest comeback in CWL or North Star history when they played on opening day. You said it, the Grizz up 6-0 before the Manitoba North Stars managed to score all those runs back in the final inning, going into sudden death and eventually winning off the bat of Dalton Thomas, who really started that rally going in that game. 1-1 count here for Jake King. That one's outside, 2-1 count.
Yeah, I mean, it was a game where it felt like, the North Stars basically were like, it could definitely be a closer score based off the amount of hits and what we had seen off the bat. Just hadn't gotten maybe some of the breaks out there once the ball got into the field, but it definitely swung back the other way violently there almost in the 7th inning.
Just a bit outside is the 3-1 count. That's the 7th ball thrown by Christian Zellner to 3 strikes pitched in just this half inning. So Zellner showing a little bit of chinks in the armor. That one's just outside, ball 4. And they're also calling a balk anyways, so that cancels the pitch, but it moves Evan Leibel over to second base. It still remains a 3-1 count here. That one is outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks here for the Chill and 2 men on the bases. And here comes Kyle Goodell up to the mound. On a 2-man on base situation with no outs. Inside pitch nearly cut the skin of Corey Gregory. He gets out of the way safely there. So here in the bottom of the 4th inning, Zellner in a tough situation already to start things off, where he's been pretty solid throughout the first 3 halves of this game. Only giving up 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, and just a run scored. That one's in there for strike 2 of the count. 1-2. So we talked about the North Stars. They went on to play yesterday at the turf field, beating the Power 13-2 in that game. They're taking a break today as a 2-0 team, but they're quickly looking like they're going to be the front runners of the California Winter League this season.
A huge pitch coming up here from Zellner.
2-2. Got him on the outside part of the strike zone. Corey Gregory goes down looking.
I mean, that was beautifully executed. Just
17,
grabbed that outer edge of the
Kai-Son
plate, froze the hitter. Gives you some confidence here if you're Zellner, because he's been missing those spots against the first 2 batters of the inning in Leibel and King.
Kai-Sheng Chen flew out to right field. Watches the first pitch breaking in there for strike one. 0-1 of the count. Meanwhile, the Blue Sox also taking a break today. They will play tomorrow at 12:30 against the North Stars. A battle of 2-0 teams tomorrow at 12:30. Next one upstairs, 1-1 of the count for Kai-Sheng Chen. Breaking pitch, good piece, blooped out to second base and chased down by Chen. So back into a favorable situation for Zellner with 2 outs. Leibel at second, King at first base. Here's the first pitch to Jack Ryan. That's in there, cuts the outer part of the strike zone for strike one. Shi King walked on base, scored a run, stolen base today, and lined out his second at bat. So he's 0 for 1 today. And with the chance to take the lead here for the Chill. Goes after the second pitch that's popped up and out of play towards the third base concession stand.
You know, Justin, it's been like that a lot, too, today. I mean, these guys are getting tested. Been guys on base. Still kind of a lower scoring game. There's been some walks, been a few hits, but it's been about who can get out of the inning. And certainly would be a story if, again, the Jacks get out of this, having those first 2 guys get on without an out. If they can come back, get all 3 outs, keep the score the same.
Still remains an 0-2 count. This one is outside for the 0-2. Harrison Nation, who was just added to the Oregon Lumberjacks roster today, is warming up in the bullpen from Palm Desert, California. 6'1", 195-pounder. As the next pitch is in for the 2-2 count. 26-year-old playing. Spent time at Colorado Christian. Also played some time at College of the Desert. He's awaiting in the bullpen to get up on board in case Zellner cannot hold the Chill here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Just outside. It's a full count.
It's been a big inning for Zellner. Over 20 pitches, and a lot of that he's been trying to get those corners, but earlier in the game he was hitting the spots. Right now just a little bit off. Still obviously the right idea.
3-2 count. Hit to right field. It's going to stay up for Zinicola, and he makes the catch. Eli Savitt and Joshua Wilson to lead off here in the top of the 5th inning. That's in there for a strike to Chung-Wei Lin from Pingtung, Taiwan, which is the southernmost point of the island there. In their first strike. A lot of the players you'll see in the CWL from Taiwan, mainly from Taoyuan and also Taipei. Not many players from that southern point. As he swings and misses at that one, gets a piece of it into the glove of Leibel, and he goes down swinging in his first at-bat of the day.
Now batting number 8, Eli Savitt.
And Moreno making it look easy there, just got ahead, and it looked like Chen just didn't have much to really counter that stuff from Moreno.
In their first strike one to Eli Savitt, who's 1 for 2 today. A stolen base, a single, and a strikeout. Popped up, fouled on the third base side. Palm Springs Stadium, a tourist destination for the city of Palm Springs. This originally the Polo Grounds in 1949, spent as the home destination of the Cal Angels spring training from 1961 since their inception to 1992, before Andrew Starkey ended up getting the grounds here and has been building it up all the way since. California Winter League has been around since 2010 and is going strong. Fouled off on the backside for Eli Savitt. Still remains a 1-2 count. The stadium has had some work done, had some laser leveling in the offseason to make the field as perfect and measurable as it can be, and it's going to get a lot better as the years go by. There's a 1-2 on the way, just upstairs with a fastball, 2-2 count. The city of Palm Springs has recently committed to investing a large portion of Measure J funds, which is the funds meant for the city of Palm Springs to help build up the downtown area. So building up a lot of those tourist destinations, as that one is lined foul on the first base side towards the bullpen of the Jacks. Still remains a 1-2 or 2-2 count here for Eli Savitt.
Yeah, I was going to mention Justin, and they got that library as well being constructed right across from the stadium, with some of those funds as well that they basically poured into developing almost this entire area.
Trying to build as much as they can to help the city of Palm Springs. This one's popped up in the air by Eli Savitt. Ryan chooses to call that one, and he gets the catch for the second out of the inning.
Now batting number 7, Joshua Wilson.
Josh Wilson 0 for 2 today. Steps into the batter's box, a ground out and a fly out. Not a lot of damage so far through the last couple of innings for A.J. Moreno up on the bump. So the stadium will have some new changes like upgraded dugouts, drainage, fresh playing surface, and several other improvements, but those are coming up in a few years. But this is a story of what this stadium has meant to the city of Palm Springs. Chen has got it, throws nobody. A.J. Moreno wasn't there, but the flip away was not in the vicinity anyways, and that's an infield hit for Josh Wilson.
Yeah, that thing was sort of awkward because it was hit right to second base. Didn't look like Moreno or anybody was there to cover first,
Now
and there wasn't
number
really
3,
much to do but flip it up.
Zinicola.
An infield single. It's a fourth one of the day for the Jacks. As Wilson gets on board, Zinicola steps into the box, struck out twice today. Goes after the first one, but pops it to the backside of the stadium here. Waiting on deck, Preston Walston. Looking like he's going to come in for one. Garcia behind the plate defensively. There goes Wilson. And they got him on the tag up. So that's the final out of the inning. There's the first delivery. That's a fastball inside. Just misses the mark to
Correction,
Malachi
number 1,
Austin.
Malachi Austin.
Austin we saw come in late yesterday as well or move around, so I think he's got that experience here and looking for a good AB. Yesterday was at second for a good time, so now I was hoping to get the bat going.
1-1 count to Austin. Floats in there for a ball. Bit of pitch upstairs, lost control of it. Makes it a 3-1 count for Harrison Nation, who's in here locally from Palm Desert. Spent 4 years at Colorado Christian from 2020 till 2023. Spent some time at College of the Desert as well. Ever since then, as this one's rolled down on the floor and off the glove of Bivacqua. And on board is Malachi Austin on an E5. Spending time over at EOS Fitness as a fitness counselor. First pitch popped up and fouled by Jesse Robinson. Also spent some time as a substitute teacher at Scoot Education, certified personal trainer, 24-hour fitness. So, yes, a player, a coach, and an educator up on the mound. That one's in a dirt for a ball. 1-1 count for Jesse Robinson.
Justin, I love that versatility. Be able to do a lot of things and coach and then play. And I think that's what a lot of guys do in the league, even if they can't develop professionally where they'd want to as the player, go the coaching route. And they're already starting to do that, but still play here in the CWL.
Pickoff attempt at first base. Malachi Austin's back in there safely. You got to make a living, right? Finding ways to
100%.
educate new players, and I think a lot of the coaches in this league can tell you exactly that's the same path that they took, playing as a player, getting that experience, but now they get to teach the next generation. That is in there for a swinging strike. Steal attempt at second base, but in there is Malachi Austin with a stolen base.
And it's like, speaking of playing and coaching, Kyle Goodell is the manager of the Lumberjacks, actually was a player coach for the Grizzlies for some time, then moved to be the hitting coach, and then now eventually the manager over there.
1-2 count here for Robinson. Gets a good piece of this one. Rolls off the glove again of Wilson, and it goes into the outfield. So back-to-back errors. This time for the Chill, it goes in their favor with an E6 here and 2 men on board thanks to errors.
Now batting
Yeah,
number
a couple of
9,
difficult
Maxwell
plays
Elliott.
right up to the middle of the infield, and just even if that you got a throw off there, it was going to be difficult to beat Robinson having to slide into the dirt.
It's Maxwell Elliott up to bat now, in for Eden Perez, who was 2 for 2 in their first strike, 1 of the count. So Eden Perez finishes the day with an RBI and 2 singles. A pretty good effort at the plate. But now Maxwell Elliott, who steps in, will have a chance to prove himself with men at the corners. There goes Jesse Robinson. He gets a stolen bag out of it. Harrison Nation delivers, fouled off line to the third base side. Harrison Nation, his brother, was also a player at Cal Poly Pomona, has dreams of potentially being a doctor with a physical therapy certification eventually, obviously if the baseball thing doesn't work out. So a nice fallback to fall on top of. Pulled out the sword. It's a drop third strike. And able to put out the outright there. Preston Walston takes him out, and that's the second out of the inning. Or the first out of the inning.
A wonderful defensive job there by Walson, just
Now
a steady
batting number
throw.
24,
Keeps
Caden
everybody
Kirker.
where they need to be. If that goes into the outfield, you've got a nightmare situation defensively.
The first strikeout of the day and of the season for Harrison Notch. Kirker goes after the first pitch, a little bit late on the swing. Just misses inside, 1-1 count.
By the way, a little update. I've heard that they're now tied at 6, Bombers, Grizzlies.
Boy.
Or 7, pardon, in the top of the 6 over there at the turf field. So getting pretty interesting.
Another big hack at that pitch. 1-2 is the count. So once again, the Grizzlies falling into that situation of being up 6-0 and giving up that massive lead. But it still seems like a pretty close game over there at the turf field. Meanwhile here, 1-2 count. Popped up and fouled. His coach is at Colorado Christian. As that one is tipped into the glove. And another strikeout, back-to-back. That's the second out of the inning.
Yeah, great pitch by Nation to drop
Now
that
batting number 18,
breaking pitch
Nick
off the table
Cusano.
and make the hitter go fishing. And again, it's not even really his fault. He's in this position. Couple of errors that put the guys on. So you just need that one big pitch here.
Nick Cusano takes over for Evan Leibel in the lineup. Leibel was 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. First pitch to Cusano is fouled off to the right field side. And Notch says he's inspired by Adam Wainwright. Says he hopes to play as long as he has, but if not, he wants to be the type of Christian father and a husband that Adam Brainwhite was in his lifetime. I mean, he's still alive, but you get the point.
Yeah, and Wainwright, of course, also probably, could be a Hall of Famer and had a really long and great career, mostly with the Cardinals in the MLB as well.
It's an 0-2 count for Nick Trusano with men at second and third. As he watches that one, just barely misses the top of the strike zone for a 1-2 count, and I think Harrison Nation wanted that call.
Yeah, he's trying to stretch the zone here, and Nation's done a good job again in this tough situation with guys on defense. Not as steady behind you, still have a good chance to get out of the inning.
On the way. Hit towards the gap. It's going to fall in. Austin scores, and Robinson comes into home plate. It's a two RBI single for Nick Trusano.
Leaving those mistakes out there because they come back to bite you.
Now
That gives the
batting
Jacks,
number 2,
the Chill the big lead.
DeMario.
So those errors come to haunt the Jacks here in the bottom of the fifth inning. And thanks to Trusano, they're up 3-1. First pitch in for a ball here to Corey DiMario. Corey DiMario 1 for 2 with a run scored on opening day. Comes in here taking over for Jake King, who was 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. He's got a man at first. Next pitch inside, 2-0 count. The Chilla finally broken through, taking back the lead here in the bottom of the fifth. Since that first run RBI single by Eden Perez back in the first inning. And the Chilla have a lead, and in this situation, DiMario will try to extend that lead and give himself a cushion for what has been a pretty good day for A.J. Moreno up on the bump.
Yeah, and this is, if Moreno comes back out, maybe they'll let him get the 6, but they have had Tobacco warming up in the bullpen for some time. Wonder if he comes in after the inning.
That's floated in there for a strike on a red light, 3-0 count.
And that, of course, is Josh Tobacco. They just got in on the Chill today, so he will be another guy that is thrown in, say, hey, go help us win this game.
Fastball, swing and a miss, and now it rings up the count full, 3-2. On the way. That's just below the strike zone for a ball. Matty Thomas is the next man up. He watches the first one for a ball. He's got a man at first and second. Nick Trusano, who just knocked in that 2 RBI single to take the lead, standing at second base. Goes after the second delivery, but comes up empty with a 1-1 count.
And this is another part that we talked about earlier. You're seeing all these substitutions, even for the team that's now leading in the Chill. It's going to be a different ball game these final few innings.
1-1 on the way. Just upstairs, pops out of the glove of Walston. It goes to the backside. Nick Trusano will stop in his tracks at third. And moving right behind him is DiMario to second base. And now there's 2 runners in scoring position. So a pass ball situation, instead of 1 runner in scoring position, now it's 2 here for Matty Thomas, who can increase the lead here for the Chill. Comes up empty on the breaking pitch, 2-2 count.
Oh, yeah, he was trying to send that to the turf field, and I mean, we've seen the home runs here. Certainly a big shot that we haven't seen in this game would really hurt the Jacks' chances if that were to happen.
It's a big at-bat here for both sides. That one just misses outside as Nation tried to curve it around, and it's a full count now. What might be a breaking point in this game is just about to be determined potentially, and Kai Sheng Chen is awaiting on deck in case this becomes a bases-loaded situation. And it's upstairs, and it will make it a bases-loaded situation.
Yeah, this is a good spot for Goodell to go talk to his guy.
What could potentially turn into a sandstorm and a nice day for the chill. We'll see what happens here as Kai Sheng Chen goes after the first pitch, a big swing and a miss. He was trying to go for the wall out there in center field. Fouled off, and quickly Chen is behind in the count, 0-2, bases loaded, 2 outs. Harrison Nation in his first inning of work has already given up 2 runs, but those runs were not earned due to 2 different errors in the infield, and here we are with a bases loaded situation. Chusano at third, Di Mario at second, and Matty Thomas at first. Another foul ball by Chen, so he's defending as well as he can to try to give his team a chance to increase the lead. They're up 3-1 now here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Chen, one of the only guys who hasn't, by the way, been subbed out or had somebody pinch hit for him, so he's looking for his big first hit.
Nation delivers. Chen still got a piece of it. Doesn't line it out, but he's still able to roll it over to the backstop, keeping that bat alive.
I was going to say, I think Nation sort of up over like 40 pitches or getting close to that almost in this inning. Just a lot of pitches, and he's got to just find a way to get this out.
He goes after the one in the dirt, drop third strike. Can they recover? They tag the runner out instead of going after the drop third strike, and that's the inning. First pitch, swing, right over to third, flips over to Tobacco. He gets onto first base for the first down of the inning. A good start to the day for Josh Tobacco.
Could have asked for much easier there, just a slow roller, but love the hustle off the mound by Tobacco. Was not an easy sprint, honestly. If he had taken just even a second more time, wasn't going to get there.
Here's the first pitch here to Preston Walson in his first at-bat of the day. It's a ball here to Preston Walson, who takes over for Juan Garcia, who was 0 for 2. Both struck out swinging in his 2 at-bats of the day at the catcher position. Here's the next delivery, a big cut. And it's able to foul it off to the backstop. Yeah, you said it, the youngest player potentially in the league, class of 2026, part of the Parksville Royals Club, 5'11", 185 pounds, as he delivers the next pitch a bit upstairs for a ball. Left-handed pitcher, his top fastball velocity at 80 miles per hour, as listed on his recruiting profile. Next delivery just a bit outside that time.
Definitely got the varsity experience, but we'll see if he's able to hold his own against a lot of these guys who do have several years of college experience, and if he can find his way to outs.
Rolled on the ground, third base, Austin. Long throw to first, got him.
I'd say Justin, he certainly looks like it right now. 2 ground balls.
Number 5,
both of those didn't leave the
Garrett
infield.
Bavacqua.
And he's definitely pitching to that weaker contact. A lot of movement on his pitches.
Certainly using those off-speed pitches to work. Both times, a couple rollovers by the first 2 batters that he's faced off against. And Garrett Bavacqua, this would be his first challenge in this half of the inning. Bavacqua 1 for 1, a walk, a run, and a single. Here's the first delivery. That's a cutter right into the strike zone. So a nice delivery from the 18-year-old. Not showing any signs of shakiness up there on the mound, facing off against guys who are much older than him, a lot more experience, and certainly have much better talent at this level. But he's facing off against the best of them. But Bevacqua comes away with a single through the gap in the infield. That's his second one of the day.
He's done an excellent job and finds himself on base there. You'll see if Lumberjacks can turn this into something. They badly need sort of a two-out rally if at all possible.
Number 2, Xavier Enriquez.
So down by 2 runs. Jacks trying to answer back here in the top of the 6th inning. It's Xavier Enriquez who comes in and he takes a big hack at the first pitch and misses swinging. He takes over for Yi-Sun Lin, who went for 1 for 2 today with a single and a strikeout swinging. Enriquez will take over in left field. Goes out to the breaking pitch, gets a piece of it. 0-2 is the count. The tying run at the plate. And the go-ahead on deck and Connor Donahue, who's awaiting. Gets on a pull the sword as the drop third strike. Enriquez took a pause, and the throw makes the first baseman Thomas go off the bag. Bevacqua will go to third. So the Jacks catch a break in that situation. Should have been the end of the inning. But the drop third strike allows Manriquez to get on board.
Number 1, Mason Carrier.
That was a wild sequence and yet another big defensive mistake in this game. A lot of these sides have had those sort of errant throws, and it's allowed guys to get extra bases.
It goes down as a throwing error by the catcher Chusano as the first pitch misses upstairs, ball 1. So now the tying runs at first base. Bevacqua is at third, and the go-ahead is up at the plate in Donahue instead of what should have been the end of the inning. Rolled over to second base, pops out of the glove, able to recover to first. That ends the inning. Back here at Palm Springs Stadium, it's another inning of work for Harrison Nation as he delivers the first pitch, 1-0 of the count to Jack Ryan. We're back to the top of the lineup. Big difference. Couple of runs scored by the Chill against Harrison Nation in his first inning of work here in his second inning of work. And because of that, the Chill are up with a 2-run lead as this one is hit to center field. And making the catch is Savitt for the first out.
We'll say at least some good contact behind that ball. Not that it might prevent a home run, but wind blowing in a little bit as of now, so that probably kept it at least from getting back there a little more towards the warning track.
Now batting number 1, Malachi
Austin, who led off the previous inning, was able to reach on board with an infield error caused by Bevacqua. Stole a base, scored a run, thanks to a 2 RBI single by Nick Chusano. That's been the difference since breaking the tie earlier. Fouled off to the backside on the first pitch. The Chill trying to get that first win of the season. 0-2 so far through 3 days in the California Winter League so far. Remember, later on today, we still have the Canada A's taking on the Palm Springs Power, which should start around 12:30 if this game is able to finish before 12 o'clock. Oh, 0-2 count to Malachi Austin. Gets a good one towards the gap and out in the outfield, but stays up for the running Savitt for his second play of this half inning.
Job out there by Savitt. Got the correct jump on both those baseballs going back and forth. And because of that, has covered all that ground out there. Got the quick 2 outs. See if it turns into a quick inning for the Lumberjacks defense.
Jesse Robinson comes up into his second at bat, also reached on an infield error that was caused by Wilson at the shortstop position. He also scored that second run of that inning, as that first pitch is just a bit outside for a ball. So Jacks have one last chance in the top of the seventh to come back and try to tie it, as this one is lined out by Robinson pretty deep, but just barely out of play. Here, not a whole lot of big hits yet. Delivery is just a bit inside for the 2-1 count on Jesse Robinson.
Robinson, a guy with great experience at Lynn, slugged almost 500 his senior year, hit 358. That was all this prior year in 2025. We'll see if he's got a big hit in store.
Still yet to see the first extra base hit of the day. That one's right to the gap. Rolls it to Lynn out there in left field, but Jesse Robinson does not extend it any further.
And that's just a solid piece of hitting. Looked like pitch that's hung up inside the zone, and was able to drive it on the line drive out there to left field and Xavier Manriquez. But now you've got a chance, if you're the Chill, to extend this lead. It looks like those bats are starting to wake up again.
So 2-out situation here, and it's Maxwell Elliott who steps in. Came in the previous half inning, struck out swinging though. First check down at Jesse Robinson.
Robinson did steal 13 times successfully as a senior, so I could see him maybe taking off here. 8 steals as well as a junior. Wonder if he's wants to get into scoring position right now.
Another check attempt and a pump fake to first base. Nothing in doing. Manriquez out there in left field. He's got the sun in his eyes right now, so that might become a factor against the lefty hitter here in Maxwell Elliott. There goes Robinson. And the ball rolls away from Walston, and Robinson's able to get to second easily, standing up.
Yeah, it was a great jump by Robinson. Honestly, even if that's gloved cleanly, I don't think there's much of a shot that they are going to be able to throw him out there if you're Preston Walston. So, wonderful jump. Gets you into a good spot at second base.
Want to know the count, and a runner in scoring position once again for the Chill. This one's upstairs 2-0 is the count. Three and 0. Elliott will have the red light here in a 2-out situation with Caden Kirker waiting on deck. Elliott just watches that one go by. It's a 3-1 count. Now he'll have the green light coming up.
A great position to be in for Elliott to get a big swing.
Goes after this one, and now it's a 3-2 count. Swing and a miss. R.J. Moffitt is going to take over for Caden Kirker. He awaits on deck. The payoff. Off the glove of the shortstop. Trying to recover to first base. He's safe. So what should have ended the inning bounces off of Wilson's glove, falls on the floor, and cannot make the recovery. It's an infield error once again, and it allows runners at the corners.
Yeah, that one needed to be caught there, it looked like, and sort of just slipped off the glove. And really a great opportunity for the Chill to get another man up.
Inside pitch here to R.J. Moffitt, who takes over.
R.J. Moffitt.
And Robinson moves over to third base. Runners at the corners here. The Chill with the chance to increase the lead once again. That's in their first strike. 1-1 count to RJ Moffitt, who's the pinch hitter here in this situation. Runners at the corners, 2-out situation in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-1 on the way. Upstairs, no take by Moffitt. And how tough is it for a guy who just came into the season? You start pitching in these innings, but 3 errors in back-to-back innings. Got to be tough for a guy like Harrison Nation to really kind of keep his composure there, but he's still got a chance to get out of it without allowing a single run to come through. Inside pitch, and Moffitt goes after it and comes up empty, 2-2.
Yeah, and that's the thing. 3 of the errors in the last 2 innings. At least with that most recent, miscue by the shortstop, Maxwell Elliott did really hit that baseball hard, so it was not an easy grab.
A swing and a miss, and down goes Moffitt. It'll be Miguel Fernandez, then Chung-Wei Lin, and Eli Sav to try to get that thing going as the first pitch is popped up in the air, fouled out of play on the first base side. It's still Josh Tobacco, who started in the previous half inning, up there on the bump with a corner situation, got out of it pretty cleanly without giving up a single run. As he'll try to hold off the Jacks to help the Chill get their first win of this young season. Jammed up inside, fouled off, 1-2.
Yeah, it sounds like Josh got some good support going on in the crowd as well for this big 7th inning.
Swords taken out by Miguel Fernandez, and they check to first to get him out and secure the strikeout.
Now batting
Update from the turf field. The Grizzlies have managed to come away with a 12-7 victory over the Bombers. So instead of giving up a lead and losing, they actually increase their lead and win the game. Right back to the pitcher. Takes it himself to first base. And the second out of the inning quickly. And now the Jacks are down to their final out of this game.
Well, this is a tough situation for the Lumberjacks, but if they're going to find a way to get some hits here, they've got to figure out the stuff of Tobacco and try their best to wait back on this off speed and find where it is in the zone and counter it to some part of the field.
Savage shows bunt and pops it and fouls it off into the stands. Interesting move there. Big wide open hole in the infield between the shortstop and the second baseman, as the next pitch was in there for ball 1. 1-1 count. Both Ryan and Chun distancing themselves. Savick could take advantage of that if he wants to. 2-1 count here. That one's in the floor, makes it a 3-1 count. Waiting on deck, Joshua Wilson, who had a single but was caught stealing back in the 5th inning. He awaits on deck. In the hole, Zane Zinicola as well. And that just misses inside up. Walk in a 2-out situation, and now the tying run will come up to the plate.
Great walk there by Savitt to remain competitive. Bring up the tying run, as you mentioned. You just still need that big hit. It's been a while since there's been a hit, too, for the Lumberjacks. That came back by Garrett Bavacqua there in the 6th inning.
Josh Wilson, 1 for 3 on the day. Serves as the tying run of this game. Swings and misses at the first pitch. The go-ahead run on deck in Zane Zinicola. The Chill looking for their first win of the young season here in the California Winter League. Outside pitch, ball one to the count, 1-1 for Josh Tobacco, facing off against Joshua Wilson. Ball upstairs, 2-1. So as of right now, AJ Moreno in line for the win if things hold up. And Tobacco in a save situation here in the top of the 7th inning.
This is where it looks like Tobacco with the count push 3-1. Starting to lose maybe some of those corners he was hitting earlier on in his appearance. He's got to find himself back in the zone.
3-1 on the way. Rolled over to Ryan. He can't glove it. And the tying runs at first base, and here comes the go-ahead.
And that was talk about a Baltimore chop. That thing bouncing so awkwardly and then sort of lifts in off the hand. And you just feel for the shortstop right there in that moment. But, again, it presents another opportunity for the Lumberjacks. And, again, Ryan came in on the charge.
Now
but
batting number 3.
got to think if you're
Nicola.
the Jacks, hey, we're one hit away. And magic can happen here. You can tie this game or take the lead.
7 combined errors for both teams today in this game. That one just becoming the 7th one. And none of them were easy. There's a steal attempt on the first pitch. It's in their first strike. And pretty easily, Savitt goes into scoring position at third. But Josh Wilson doesn't follow behind him. Zane Zinicola serving as the go-ahead run, the tying at first base. Floats one in for ball one of the count. Preston Walston is on deck. Came in, but rolled out on a 5-3. The Jacks have one man warming up in the bullpen.
I'm going to say he's got the gear on. He's ready to go back out and catch.
Rolled over, gets through the first and second base gap. That scores a run. Going to third, the tag at second. Got him at second base. That ends the game thanks to the throw by Di Mario. And the Chill are on the win column. It's been a good one, and the Chill have got their first win, and Gary Templeton Jr., and most importantly, gets the first win for the Chill.
Yeah, and that was just, I mean, such an electric game. Look, there was just some mistakes out there for sure. We saw some errors and made things rather interesting, but as we mentioned, guys are going to be aggressive. They're going to showcase their talent. I think in that situation, Zinicola probably not running to second a lot of times with 2 outs when you just brought home, the run, or you're potentially bringing home the tying runs, but it's trying to showcase it, trying to stretch it, and it was a fun finish there, Justin, and I just love the competitiveness of both teams. And by the way, you got to be encouraged for these pitchers. Obviously, combined 5 runs through 7 innings. That's kind of on the lower side for what we've seen, but they were put into tough situations, and you're playing with guys for the first time. They're making some mistakes sometimes defensively. It's really easy to, give up and be upset about that, but it didn't look like any of them were pouting or upset about a mistake. They would just keep pitching and got out of the jams. I think that's what you see there when we're talking about, the defense, and just an amazing throw from right field to end this game.